I mentioned at the top of the show that I needed to verify this fact. And who better to help me verify this fact than the host of The Jump on ESPN, reporting from the NBA bubble, where the Lakers just dismantled the now banged-up Heat in Game 1. The host of ESPN's The Jump, and again, reporting from the NBA Finals, Rachel Nichols. How are you, Rachel?
Hello, my friend. How are you?
I am well. Is there a rule where one win can equal 4 and wrap up an NBA Finals? Is there such a thing? I don't know.
I just want you to describe the last meal you had for me that was not served in a cardboard and plastic box, so I can live vicariously through you.
Okay, very good. Right okay. What would I have?
What did you have yesterday?
Well, yeah. What I have yesterday? Oh, I had Dom's meatballs.
Oh, nice.
You know, I put some broccoli in it, chopped up a little bit of garlic, put it all together in a red sauce. Does that piss you off, Rachel?
That pretty much does it for me. We one of our colleagues, Cassidy Hubbard, was nice enough to send us some Chicago-style pizza down here because pizza in particular, the two things that are very hard to get in the NBA bubble are pizza and sushi. Which, I mean, look, we can all live without that in our life for a period of time, but there's only so far I can go without pizza. So Cassidy was nice enough to send some Chicago pizza down. We were excited. And then it turned into a, 4-day odyssey of getting permission for the hotel to heat up a, quote, foreign object in their kitchen.
Uh-huh.
And so the pizza had to be sent to a different, less sterile hotel because until the pizza was cooked, it was not considered sterile. Then once it was in the oven, it was sterile, but not where we were. So then it had to get driven back to where we were. And I got to tell you, that whole 30 minutes or less thing does not apply in the bubble.
Okay.
And then we wanted a knife or a pizza cutter to cut the pizza, also not considered sterile. Sorry, you're on your own. So that's kind of our situation here.
Well,
much more importantly, everyone is healthy. I don't want to lose track of that. But I do really like pizza, Rich, so it's tough.
So, Rachel, I understand the conundrum here. That you've been down there, and it does keep everyone safe. But you do have to take solace in the fact that there is some sort of pizza reheating protocol that nobody ever really thought of.
No stone left unturned.
My God.
In the bubble.
And
They've
plus,
thought of everything.
And then the sushi, I mean, I guess you don't want to make sushi out of whatever tuna's in the man-made lake there by one of those hotels. I don't, Dory.
And there's also a sort of sushi Florida sitting outside. Like if it has to go through 6 stages, there's a point where you don't want it.
Plus, I guess, wait for it here. I'm not done. Hold on. The Dory roll, right? Isn't that what it would be down there in Disney World? The Dory roll.
I'm sure that would be. Although, isn't that mean?
I guess, yeah. You can't have a Dory cut roll. That's terrible for the children. Although every Disney movie, Rachel, the parents die in it anyway.
Trust me.
Okay?
Trust me. I know that I'm sure Susie's talked about, especially the mother. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, even in Frozen.
Sort of hatred of mothers.
Even in Frozen, they go down with the ship. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
In later Disney movies, they seem to be killing both parents, which I guess has some solace. But I don't know.
Rachel Nichols here on the Rich Eisen Show. Okay, so
where were we again? The NBA Finals.
I guess that's what we call a reset. What to make of? What can you tell us about the injured Heat players? Because if there's no Dragic, there's no Adebayo, that would be essentially a wrap. One would assume. What are you hearing about?
I think so. So look, we don't have an update yet. The Heat haven't come to speak at media availability yet. I saw Goran limping, back into the locker room after going to get some medical treatment in a different room last night. It didn't look good. Now, that being said, he did try to come out for the second half and play and only got halfway down the hallway, and a medical person from the Heat stopped him. And in an admirable way, I think all of these players, they're so dedicated in general, and this Heat team in particular, the mindset is, I don't care, I'm getting back out on the court. But there's a point, the body just won't let you. So the reporting is that Goran has a plantar fasciitis tear. That's normally a 6-week injury. I don't know. I don't know how they would get him back up, although it has happened in playoff history. There have been, take a shot and get back out there. It's just sort of, I don't know how effective he would be or if that could cause any further damage because I'm not a doctor. And then with Bam, it's his shoulder. They're calling it a shoulder strain. And it's just important, even in my non-medical training, I know to always remember that a strain by definition is a slight tear of the muscle. That's what a strain is. Now, tear sounds dramatic, which is why they call it a strain, but it is like a little bit of a tear of the muscle. So I just don't know how much little that is and what that means for him playing or not.
Now, obviously, we need these guys healthy. We meaning, everyone who's rooting for a competitive
series, right?
Of
I mean,
course.
even if you're a Laker fan, well, I don't know. Maybe if you're a Laker fan, you want them to win in 4 and that's it. But, I just think, look, it's the NBA Finals. The games in the bubble have been so good. Like, the basketball has been so good. And Lakers was a tantalizing matchup, and you'd like to see them actually match up no matter who wins.
And also, I was hoping, and again, that this could be Jimmy Butler's moment. And I know through your years of covering Jimmy Butler, if I'm not mistaken, Rachel, after he blowed up the practice in Minnesota.
I don't know what you're talking about, Rich Eisen.
You got an exclusive interview with him almost 35 minutes later. So this is his moment, right? This is what he's been building towards forever. Is this moment?
I mean, it's a
Rachel?
little bit of a referendum too on how he operates and the way that he had coaches or front office people in several cities who felt like, he's bad for team chemistry, or he's bad for coaches, or he's bad in the locker room. And really, win or lose in the finals, I think it's been kind of proven that with Jimmy, it's more a matter of fit. And the way that he and the Heat have been saying is like, hey, we're not for everyone. And I think that that's always an important thing to remember in sports, that there's, I kind of always say 10%, 10%. Like 10% of the players could play anywhere and be amazing. And 10% of players could play anywhere and probably be pretty terrible and always be almost about to get cut. But those 80% in the middle, whatever sport you're talking about, fit is so important. What are the other pieces around that player? How do they fit in with the coach and the system and the front office and the way the cycle of the team in that moment and all of that stuff? And Jimmy is a prime example of fit. And as he and the Heat have pointed out, he says, I'm not for everyone, but I'm for this team. And that's certainly true. And the Miami Heat as an organization aren't for everyone. Dan Waiters is in this series with the Lakers. It didn't turn out that the Heat were for him. But when there is a match, it's pretty cool to watch. And we have seen, win or lose, we have seen that with Jimmy Butler and the Heat.
Rachel Nichols, host of ESPN's The Jump and reporting from the NBA Finals in the bubble right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Not to pry and not to tell you how to, your show should do its business.
My pizza?
No. That's all good. I don't want to tell you the last time I had pizza. You'd be very upset.
I'm sure I would.
So I'm assuming the Jump on its rundown in between games 1 and 2 of this finals might have Kyrie's latest statement on how he feels comfortable deferring to a teammate he's yet to play with, except in an All-Star game. And how, quote, this is the first time in my career I can look down and be like, that MFer can make that shot too. And I'm trying to recall who his past teammates are that he might have had a crunch time moment with.
Yeah.
How does this, is this on your rundown, Rachel, with LeBron in the bubble there?
We do have some kind. I mean, by the way, it's not just the Kyrie comment about that. I assume it's from the same podcast. That there was a quote I saw where it says, Kyrie said, I don't really see us having a head coach. KD could be a head coach. I could be a head coach someday. Jacques Vaughn could be a head coach, could do it one day. It's a collaborative effort.
Oh, boy.
Now, he also, in that same podcast, praised Steve Nash pretty heavily. So I do think that I will say this. I think with Kyrie in particular, by the way, sorry, that last quote about Jacques Vaughn is attributed to KD, not Kyrie. But with Kyrie in particular, you really do have to take the whole. That if you take one or two things he says, I'm not saying he shouldn't be responsible for everything he says, because he said it. He's an adult, and he's certainly been in this league a long time now. He knows how this works. But I will say that often when you read a pull-out quote from something, if you then kind of listen to the whole thing, there is more context. So this did just cross my radar, but I had a very important radio show to come to.
Thank you.
So I have not done the entire listening of the entire podcast yet. I believe it was just released this morning. And so we'll see as we listen, as we get toward the jump. We will certainly be hitting it, and exactly what and how we'll find out on national television this afternoon.
I look forward to you chopping that up.
Rich.
So
it's always spicy.
No, it's going to be great. Now, look, Rachel, if you can, I don't have the direct line to Kyrie that I'm sure you do. Okay, but I did. There's just 2 cents I want to offer here. Being from Staten Island, New York, born and raised in Staten Island, New York. and I know Kyrie knows the area very well because I heard him talk about how he always wanted to be a Net from his New Jersey Net love days. That honestly, he and the next person I meet will talk about that, I guess. So all he's got to do in this market, with the Knicks being as down as they are, all he's got to do is just show up and play basketball and not say stuff like this. That's it. And win. And everyone will flock to Brooklyn. That the hot mess is the owner in New York. Let him be the hot mess. Don't. Yes. What are we doing? I mean, Rachel, essentially.
The Kyrie Irving experience, Rich. Life is better with more color in it. More.
I agree.
You know, the NBA, Rob Perez, who goes under the Twitter handle Worldwide Web, who's very popular on NBA Twitter, has a great sort of recurring picture he throws up where it's like a workplace sign, and it's like 0 days without unnecessary drama, and like you're supposed to write in how many days, like 0 days without a workplace accident, and it's always 0 days without unnecessary drama, and like that's the NBA, man. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Okay. Oh, man. Who's the most difficult one on your set to corral? I've done this for a living with a bunch of very prideful NFL players. You've got some been there, done that, high personality individuals. What about for you, Rachel? Let's be honest here.
Well, I mean, again, you can draw from the comments I just made about Kyrie and the NBA that I like a little like unstable drama.
Me too.
Right?
I've got Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin spoke at my daughter's baby naming, Rachel. He was at my wedding. Susie invited him. He showed up in an electric blue tuxedo. I love the guy, but he's a handful. So for me, I actually seek those players out to be on the jump because those are some of the players I love covering the most. And I do think it's a sport, right? Like God knows there's a lot more serious things going on in the world right now. Like let's not take our basketball or football or anything else so seriously. So whether it's on my show, it's Kendrick Perkins or Richard Jefferson, they are both dead on and great. If you say we got to talk about this, they will absolutely do it. Right.
But the one catch is if there's something they do want to talk about, and a producer, and this is Richard in particular because he's such a troll when it comes to this kind of stuff, and he has a great sense of humor. If the producer says, oh, well, let's not talk about that because it'll be too much of a diversion, we go take that sideways, we won't have time for the next topic, that is pretty much like a bright green light to Richard that what he needs to do is talk about that thing and throw the segment off timing-wise. And by the way, I want to say this again. I said it at the beginning. I'm going to say it again.
Yes.
Total pro. Do not let Kyrie take my stuff out of context.
Sure, no.
Richard Jefferson is a total pro. He is the person I am down here with in the bubble because he is just the most, he's great, and he's been great in this environment. But because he is a mischief streak, he will definitely employ it. And the producers know that waving that red, cape in front of him of saying, actually, this will throw the segment off. That's just trouble.
So were you there? Were you next to him when he hit send on Giannis being a Pippin? Were you there for that one? Rachel?
I was not. That was a phone call. I was like, wait, what are you saying?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Sometimes it happens, But again, here's the thing, and you know this, so much in your chair. Mm-hmm. The worst thing is having a former player who is afraid to say anything. I don't want people manufacturing TV. That's crappy, and everybody knows it. You can see right through it. But the players who feel, and I respect this, but they're just maybe not cut out for television, who feel like it's disloyal in some way to talk honestly about guys they know or teams that they have left behind or, hey, it's the league, it's a code or whatever. That's great, but then you probably shouldn't be on TV, right? So I do really enjoy when it's genuine. I don't want the manufactured stuff, but when it's genuine, I want those guys to speak their mind and sometimes take things off the rails and like if you're supposed to be doing a segment about the NBA Finals, insist on talking about pizza.
That's right. I guess that's how we're going to go full. That's how we're going to finish up full circle, Rachel. I feel like this could be a short series. I'm not, I'm just getting the sense this could be a short series. So if you want us to send you something to eat, some food, I think we got to get it in now based on the strict protocols that I had no idea that existed on pizza cutters. Which, by the way, there's probably 90 of them in one spot that's supposed to look like Italy and Epcot. Literally, probably 2 miles from you. So, what do you need? What do you want? What do you want?
No. I don't like. Again, something could get hung up here. Every package that comes in has to get sprayed down in bleach and all of that stuff. When I get back to LA, Susie, we need to have like a group like really good Italian meals so that I can wash the cardboard box food out of my system.
All right, Rachel, that's a done deal. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of the stay in the bubble. And I hope it's a short series for you so you can get home. But I know that you're enjoying all the NBA action. So appreciate the call.
Absolutely. I'll talk to you guys soon.
You got it. That's Rachel Nichols. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.